From days of long ago, created by the cosmic legends of the universe. There stands one man, one great man, a man dedicated to preserving all that is good in pop culture. Loved by few, hated by many. Alone in his fortress of awesomeness, he battles fearlessly against the woke, the evil, the unjust. Right that which is wrong, to stand for justice, to serve all mankind. He is the one, the only Crusader! Hello and welcome all those in the geekosphere to Titillating Tuesdays. I am your host, the Comic Relief Crusader, and I am actually wide awake on my second night of graveyard shift, and miraculously 2 hours ago I woke up and I'm still alive. So this is a miracle, and thank God this is a short week, because for us Canadians we have July 1st, Canada Day, coming up. So thank you, Jesus. It's only going to be 4 days, and this is my second day. So technically, after today, I'm halfway through. And so I'm quite happy about that. But I'm not going to bitch about work. So I'm just grateful that I actually have a job. Yeah. Are you sure you're alive? No, not really. My body's on autopilot, I think. I'm amazed I don't have a small rat on top of my head that actually pilots me around. So, or possibly in the case of that movie, Everything Everywhere at Once, a raccoon. Although I think I'd prefer the raccoon. I'm not sure. Only because they have, the opposable thumb thing going on. Anyway. You know what? I know the title of today's episode is The Robots Are Coming. And I kind of figured, you know what? There are sometimes some topics that I put up and I really don't keep to it. So I pretty much should kind of keep to the title of what the topic is, I guess. So, yeah, raccoons are pretty cool, right? Except when they get all, fat and ornery and... Boy, you ever seen an angry raccoon? Dang. Ratophobia. Yeah, exactly. So, yes, the robots are coming. And as per my last video, Astro Boy coming back out after, let me think. The last Astro Boy was, I believe, God, a good 15 years ago. Not counting the movie, the one with Nicolas Cage playing the dad. Although, you know what? I don't think he did that bad of a job. I don't know why he gets a lot of hate. It wasn't actually that bad of a movie, but blue energy versus red energy. Isn't that just kind of a nice trope of sorts that's kind of overused? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, that's what the raccoons want you to believe. That's right. They will conquer all. Should raise an army of raccoons. Do my thieving for me. Anyway, no, so I thought, you know what? Tonight, yeah, I'm gonna do my top 10 robot robot list. Yeah, there was actually a Nick Cage Astro Boy movie. Well, Nick Cage played the dad. He didn't actually play Astro Boy, although that would be funny. I think it came out, if I'm not mistaken, around 2007, and obviously CGI. But you know what? It wasn't too bad. It really, honestly, wasn't. For a kids movie and trying to perk interest again in Astro Boy. So, because I've always loved him as a kid. Yeah, the original Astro Boy origin is pretty rough. Yeah, if you go back, way back, it's pretty, wow, it's pretty heavy, to tell you the truth. But I mean, this is a franchise that goes back, oh my God, I mean, a lot of years. Like a lot of years. And I suppose you could say Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy probably really kicked off the big robot craze, I suppose, in Japan. Really, I mean, if you think about it, I don't know if... Hey, Dave, how's it going? Nice to see you. It was 2009. Yeah, thank you, Phantom Outsider. Yeah, because when Astro Boy came out, let me think here. I believe it was 1952. So, I mean, that's a long time. Like a long, long time. And for a franchise to last that long and, still wanting to go strong, that's not too bad. So, yeah, the manga predates that. Yeah, you're correct. So the manga obviously came out first before the anime. So, and yeah, and 63 for when the cartoon came out. So, still waking up. I think I need more coffee, but I'm doing pretty good. So anyway, I thought tonight we'd get into my top 10 robots that I enjoy. But I think I might go into some of the silly news that's going on out there. First, maybe just a touch up on a few things, because I'll tell you, wow, I'm not surprised. So let's see. First, we're going to talk about this. Marvel Comics. Who saw it coming? I'm gonna have to do a video on this, but wow, Marvel Comics introduced a new gay Spider-Man variant into the upcoming Spider-Verse. Oh crap! Like who didn't see this coming, right? Honestly, God, let's just make everything gay and rainbows and lollipops and stuff like that. So, and the and the article reads, and a move that should surprise absolutely no one, Marvel Comics is said to introduce yet another LGBT character to their dwindling readership, this time in the form of a multiversal Spider-Man variant. Boy, like we don't already have, like, I don't know, 500,000 of them or something like that. Yes, we even get a spider dinosaur. God. The House of Ideas, I swear to God, is full of bad ideas now. Jeez. So, as revealed in their recently published September solicits, this new web slinger is set to debut in the 5th and final issue of Marvel's upcoming Edge of the Spider-Verse miniseries. God, just let it die. Whose anthology stories will serve as a prelude to long-coming Spider-Man author Dan Slott. God, he's such a crap writer. Previously announced plans to end the concept of the Spider multiverse and send it out in a blaze of glory. No, I don't think you are. Created by Stephen Fox and artist Christopher Anka, Webweaver is described as a not so mild-mannered fashion designer at Van Dyne who gets spider powers and shows us a very different kind of spider slayer. Oh, for freak's sake. Oh, yeah. Doesn't he look just fabulous? Dear God. Like, who... Yeah, Spider Dino is at least amusing. If it's a T-Rex, how does he get the web shooters on? Can somebody answer that? Like, if Spider Dino keeps a secret identity, I don't even know why. Why am I even contemplating this? If it's a T-Rex with the nubby little arms, how does he get the web slingers on? And with his huge weight, wouldn't it just the line snap? I don't know. Oh God, why? So, wait, they claim to have a readership now. Who's imagining things? Yeah, exactly. Wait. Oh God, I know. Wait, created by what exactly are they creating? Gayness? Spider-Man was already a thing. I know, right? Hey, good evening, anti-derivative Jill. I don't know comics. You tell me. Well, yeah, Spider-Ham. Damn right. God, probably the most amusing, most liked Spider-Man out there. Yeah, Jill. No, there's oh boy, there's a ton of Spider-Man out there. It's nuts. So following the issue's official public reveal, Fox took to his personal Twitter, of course, because, you know, you got a Twitter, right? To excitingly confirm, surprise, I have a huge gay honor of helping to co-create Webweaver. He'll make his debut in The Edge of the Spider-Verse #5 this September. God. Designed by the one and only Krista Frinka, covered, blah, blah, blah. Oh, God. Just, yeah. Surprise, gay Spider-Man. So, okay. Yeah. Okay. So, you know what? Actually, this doesn't really come as much of a surprise. Hey, Psychosis. Great to see you here this evening. Yeah, see, this is not the first time that somebody in Marvel wanted to push this. Andrew Garfield, if you saw a video that I did a few months ago, Andrew Garfield actually wanted to push in the Amazing Spider-Man movies for Peter Parker to be, I believe it was bi. He wanted to push Peter as it was either gay or bi, and I'm pretty sure it was bi. And, you know, and his reasoning was, you know, like, why can't he be bi? Like, because he's not. So, like, just stop wrecking these characters. Stop introducing things that really don't need to be introduced, or, you know, introduce it and see if it flies. I don't know. It's just, yeah, Spider-Man, scientifically accurate Spider-Man. I seen that video too. It was quite, wow, funny yet horrific. But yeah, how could this be a surprise? I'm sure they have a closet full of full of these ideas. Yeah, you know, not every idea really needs to be out there. So, Yeah, just stop. You really honestly don't have to. But yeah, I'm sorry. It's not for me. It's not really. And it's going to be another one that tanks on top of that. So, is anyone really surprised? No. So, I think probably what might end up happening um is this. Marvel's going to be just so bad. I mean, along with DC, but you might as well just include them both. Um that they're probably just going to dump it, and it's probably going to go on the market for like pennies on the dollar. It's kind of like what Disney's what's happening at Disney right now, right? Like those stocks are just dropping like zombies at a shootout. So yeah, see, that's what I want to see. If Spider-Man was scientifically accurate, the webs would come out of his butt. Not exactly easy to aim like that. I don't know. With practice, anything is possible. So I wonder if we'd have to get Mary Jane or Daredevil or somebody to say, quick, pull my finger. So, um, probably before he swings. So, and another thing is this. This is another thing I found really, really funny. And I just pressed the wrong button to bring up the screen. So silly me. This also. So Sony has plans for Craven the Hunter. Now, if any of you know your Spider-Man lore, and I'm sure you do, Craven the Hunter, well, he hunted people. He hunted Spider-Man. Well, I mean, and he hunted a lot of other people. So that was the character. This was him, right? But now, um, Craven also hunted animals. But now, no, we can't do that because I don't know what PETA or the SPCA or whatever, it's just going to be mad at them or something like that. So now they're going to switch Craven the Hunter as an animal lover and protector of the natural world. Ah, sweet Jesus. After a Venom movie without Spider-Man and a Mobius movie without an audience, that's true. If any of you saw the Mobius movie, dear God, don't. Just really honestly don't. Sony will apparently attempt to make their Craven the Hunter movie without the character's core personality. Sony, you were doing good. You were almost batting 1,000 with the Spider-Man movies, with Ghostbusters, with with stuff. Oh God. So yeah, so Craven the Hunter is not going to be Craven the Hunter. The studio's upcoming change to the iconic Spider-Man villain was revealed by its star, Aaron Taylor. God, I can't talk. Aaron Taylor Johnson, during an appearance at the recent Cine Europe conference, made in a promotion of his upcoming film, Bullet Train. As per Variety, in addition to unveiling a 15-minute preview of the film to attendees, and in light of his having just wrapped filming on the villain's solo outing, Taylor Johnson also took a moment while on stage to speak on his upcoming role as Kraven, who he described as one of Marvel's most iconic, notorious anti-heroes. Spider-Man's number one rival. I don't think Kraven was really an anti-hero. I mean, that's why they called him Craven the Hunter. He hunted. He just hunted. people, animals, like everything, right? That's why he was the way he is. Oh, dear God. Okay, he's not an alien or a wizard, said the Godzilla 2014 and Avengers Age of Ultron star as to what he found appealing about playing the founding member of the Sinister Six. He's just a hunter, a human with conviction. Oh my God. The point of hunting is to hunt. If you're a protector of wildlife, you're not exactly a hunter, you're a conservationist. An animal lover and protector of the natural world. He's a very, very cool character, which means he won't be. Really? Honestly, which God, which means he won't be. Sure, okay, maybe he might play it cool, but that doesn't mean he's going to be a cool character. I'm sorry. You're just not. Because Craven, yes, thank you. Also, Phantom Outsider, Craven was hired by J. Jonah Jameson to hunt Spider-Man. He was at that point as a mercenary. That's right. You're not an anti-hero. You're not a hero. You're a mercenary. You're like borderline bad guy. That's pretty much it. No. Just no. So, okay, if this gets released, it's just going to be another bomb. It is. I'm sorry. Meh. Okay. So, should we just get to the robots now? Because I'm just finding this more and more depressing. Okay. Okay. So, tonight, my top 10 robots that I have thoroughly enjoyed. Okay. Because why not? Why not? So, because I'm sure that everybody everywhere just enjoys and loves giant robots, so why not? So, I mean, they've been all throughout movies and TV shows and God, comic books, and you can buy figures of them and statues and everything. So I thought, you know what? It's gonna be a bit of fun. Because why not, right? So, yes, robot, please. Giant freaking robots. I know, yeah. Robbie the Robot. God, I love that robot. That was pretty good. But there's so many of them. Okay, so number 10. Twiggy. Twiggy is my number 10. Man, you know what? When I was a kid, oh God, I forget when Buck Rogers came out. I know it was like late 70s. But when Buck Rogers came out and there's this robot, and I don't know, I just thought it was just kind of cool the way he talked. That's all, Buck. Just this kind of this I don't know, kind of like toad-like voice. And he just kind of waddled around, and part of me kind of thought, because I was like really, really young, is that like really a robot, or is it a midget in a suit? Or did they get some kid like I really didn't know about, dwarfs, midgets, whatever. I always get those terms confused. And not to be insulting to anyone, okay? So, but I kind of thought almost that, did they have a kid in a suit just walking around? Because if that was the case, I wanted to do that. I wanted to get in a suit like that. So Twiggy, God, I loved this robot. Just the way he'd like waddle around. He was kind of like, to me at least, he was kind of like a little bit like R2D-ish, R2D2-ish in a way. Because, he would just end up tagging along in certain situations. He'd end up sometimes, wandering off and then, like doing something that would just, I don't know, save Buck or anybody else that just happened to be coming along on Buck's adventures and whatnot. And oh yes, that's right. And the doctor, I suppose, I forget what they called him, Doctor something. He was like some artificial intelligence that always hung around his neck. I just kind of thought it was like pre-rap bling bling that he was wearing at the time. I thought he was, it kind of, looking back on it now, it kind of looks kind of gangsta. Yeah, check out my clock. I'm wearing around my neck. So, yeah, little people and little robots. Yeah, I know, right? It was just so fun. I loved it. Yeah, and Phantom Outsider, yeah, the only thing that made Twiggy cool was he was Buck's friend. Exactly, right? So, because when I was a kid, Dr. Theopolis, that's right. That was his name. Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know, maybe it was me, but you kind of wanted like a little robot pal like this when you were a kid. And I always thought, damn, this is like super cool. I want something like this. And I suppose it even made me want it more. Like, remember the old Sears Christmas catalogs that always came out, say around, I think like September, October. And as a kid, you immediately went to the toy section and you kind of picked out what you really wanted. Well, back in the 80s, they were selling like these remote control robots and stuff like that. God, I wanted one so bad. Like, I really wanted one so bad. And there was actually one that was in the Sears catalog that was selling at an antique store. And apparently it still worked. And it was like $80. And unfortunately, I didn't have the $80. But damn. It was the exact robot that I wanted out of the Sears catalog. But yeah, that's also right. Yeah, Dr. Theopolis was in charge of sunsets in New Chicago. He added mauve to the mix, so he said. That's true. You know what? And I downloaded all those episodes too. And I just like Twiggy. Just as part of my childhood. So, and number 9. Astro Boy. Could I say? Yeah, another one I grew up with as a kid. 80s Astro Boy. So that's why I was kind of like, really happy to kind of cover it on that on the previous video that I did. And I didn't know this before, but I didn't realize there was different versions of Astro Boy that came out. So, because up here in Canada, we had, we obviously had a Canadian version, but I had no idea that that there were other versions of them. So, and even some of the characters' names were different and whatnot. Like what was it? There was one like bad guy. I think it was kind of like bluish. What do they call him in other versions? Skunk or something like that. But up here in Canada, they called him Slippery Sam. And like Dr. Balfus had a different name, one of the scientists and stuff like that. Yeah, God, the underwear and the tall red boots. Come on, man, it's classic. It's classic, man. His feet are just nubs. Yeah, they are. Because remember the one time, if you remember the show, he does actually take off his boots, and he has like tiny little toes, right? So, which was also another thing, because when he wore the tall boots to fly around as rockets, like I didn't know that section of boot came apart, and I was always wondering, how does that work? So, um I don't know. But yeah, I always kind of enjoyed that they kept it close to the original manga. Um, and that eventually, like in the 80s version that I grew up with, that he ends up with a sister and a mom and dad and a dog, and and goes on all these crazy adventures and whatnot. And then he finds out he has a twin brother, Atlas. Um, but I don't know if that was originally in the manga, because I didn't read a lot of the original manga. And I know when the show came out around the early 2000s, there was a new version that came out. So I think they kind of reintroduced him, but he had a different look to him. And yeah, so I know they're going to make this new version more more today oriented, but I just hope it just doesn't go full blown woke, because it's just going to make it kind of crappy for me. I just keep Astro Boy simple, the way it always was. Yeah, Atlas was evil or misunderstood. It was pretty interesting how they played that whole dynamic. So, as he was abused and took offense, that's true. So, yeah, must use an awful lot of hair gel to have a mop that shiny. That's right. Probably petrified right now, the way it stays in place. So, enough to deflect bullets. But no, it was always a show. Yeah, Turtle Wax, exactly, Phantom Outsider. It was always a show that I liked. It was nice. It was simple, and and it was it's just a nice show all around. I mean, what more can I say? So, and yes, by the way, this is the 60s TV version that I'm showing right now. So, yeah. Number 8, Bender Rodriguez. Oh God. I Astro? Yes, well, me Astro too. So, Bender Rodriguez, my God. I love Futurama, and I know it's coming back. I heard it's coming back, but damn, a robot powered by beer and alcohol. Why not? Crap. It just makes going to bars even much more fun, right? Um, Bender Rodriguez. Exactly, the lovable a-hole. He's just a scampy kind of scamp. Yeah, when I was in college, well, I suppose back in college, early 2000s, like 1999, I mean, when Futurama came out, I knew it was going to be like almost kind of like a futuristic Simpsons kind of vibe to it, but dang, like since the first time I saw Bender, it's like this is fun. I couldn't see this show ending ever, and maybe even possibly lasting as long as the Simpsons. So I thought at the time. But yeah, I mean, what it lasted, I think 4 seasons, and had a bunch of direct movies. And then I think Cartoon Network picked it up for a couple of more seasons, and now I guess it's coming back. So, but man, I tell you, like without this guy, Futurama would just be bland. It wouldn't even worth be watching. So yeah, it's coming back with Bender. God, yeah, I so hope so, Jill. Man, because I just gotta laugh through everything. I just watch it basically purely for him. Honestly, it's the really the only reason why. And brain slugs, of course, right? And also hoping for more Hypnotoad. So because can't live without Hypnotoad. But I just thought, if beer basically powers all these robots, alcohol industry must be just making a killing. So, uh, yeah, honorable or dishonorable mention to Roberto, the stabbing bot. Yeah, and Calculatron. So, oh god, I remember what was it? His origin story, Calculatron. So, as he was just a simple calculating machine. Frick. Oh god, yeah, Bender not woke enough. No, just never make this show woke. Never make Bender woke. No, it was just an awesome show from like the late 90s, before it became 2000. Just one of those. I suppose you could technically call it a 90s show because that's when it started. That just is awesome. So, and Crimson Toys, hey dude, what's up? Nice to see you here. Great you could drop in. So, Married with Children is also returning with the main cast as a cartoon. Are they really? God, I hope that's true. I don't know what to make about that. But yeah, Katie Seagal, God, loved her. And of course, Christina Applegate, but I mean, then again, who didn't? So Bender is my number 8. So number 7, the Iron Giant. I love the Iron Giant. It's a great movie. Like, it is a great movie. When Brad Bird put out the adaptation from the book, and I mean, when this came out, what was it, like 2002, 2003, somewhere around there? Man, when my son saw this, at the end of the movie, he was like literally in tears. It is really good for for giant robot movies. It's awesome. It's a very simple story in a way. I really can't say much more about it, but Crimson Toys, never seen it. You know what? Go see it. Go rent it. Download it. I don't care what, but you know what? It's a really awesome movie. Really, really. And you know what? Warner Brothers didn't make it crappy whatsoever. I know there was like a lot of constraints during the production of this. Vin Diesel plays the Iron Giant. Jennifer Aniston plays Hogarth's mom. Oh God, who played the Beatnik? It was Harry Connick Jr. that plays the Beatnik friend that Hogarth ends up befriending. No, I don't think. No, you won't see it on Disney Plus because this is a Warner Brothers movie, so it won't be on Disney Plus. But if you can find it on DVD, there's even a very special edition with added scenes into it. I would recommend getting this. It's a great animated movie. I mean, the lines are clean and all that. Yeah, the movie, it really had a great cast. You still actually have your VHS copy. That's we had ours for a long time, and you know what? The DVD that we ended up getting, the special edition, we actually literally wore it out. I never thought that you would be able to wear out a DVD, but we did, and we also wore out Wally on top of that. So, yeah, it is a great movie, isn't it, Jill? It's definitely would recommend it. Yeah, Warner Brothers, yeah, then HBO, possibly maybe HBO. I mean, if that's like an on-demand thing that you can also like, find or something like that. Yeah, then maybe you might find it on there. And Dave, great movie. Can't make part 2. No way you can make the bad evil 50s 60s look good. Those were bad times. So, oh, it's on Amazon Prime. Oh, well, then there you go. See, there, Crimson Toys, and any derivative Jill there. You can find it on Amazon Prime. So there you go. Yeah, Wally tugs on my hair. Yeah. Well, this will actually do the same thing, guaranteed. In the book, however, and I believe Brad Bird added it in the special edition release. And again, yeah, I think it's in the book where the Iron Giant has a dream as he's sleeping one time, and it shows up on the TV of Harry Connick Jr.'s character. Oh my God, why can't I remember his name? Anyway, shows up because he's a junk dealer, right? But he also makes art out of his junk. And I'm going to look that up right now, actually, tell you the truth. The Iron Giant cast. Dean, that's right. Dean. And what ends up happening is you see the Iron Giant's planet where he came from. So if for those of you that haven't seen it, you notice on this picture he has like a little dent on his head. And because when he crash lands on Earth, he gets a dent in his head and he can't exactly remember anything really, why he's there or anything like that. And and he eats metal, and so there comes a point where Hogarth saves him. So I don't want to spoil the entire movie, but it's the two become best friends, and of course the army gets involved, and especially one character in particular, and I just love to hate this character because Ken Mansley, he works for the government, and it just becomes a running joke basically for him. But I think the other thing I like about this is because at the time when I saw this, I lived in New Brunswick, and this takes place in a fictional place called Hopewell, Maine, which is actually kind of close to where I live. Now, there's no Hopewell, Maine, because it's just a made-up place, but I thought, oh, wow, that's like right next door, Maine. So, yeah, I would think, I mean, it's great for kids to watch. Like, don't get me wrong, it is totally supposed to be a kids movie, but it's also the type of movie that as a grown-up, it really touches at the heartstrings in all the right places. It's a fantastic movie, and I really love it. It's just a simple movie about friendship and a boy and his big giant robot, right? So I won't spoil the end. I won't spoil what happens when he gets quote unquote triggered. But yeah, that also Crimson Toy, you have to watch it for that. So I'll just say that much. But yeah, and it can be appreciated at all levels, and yeah, now that is writing. True. You know what? And I suppose that's why Brad Bird did so well on The Incredibles, and why everybody just could not wait for Incredibles 2 for the longest time. Because he is a good director. He's a fantabulous um, director, and I wish that Warner Brothers would have let him do a lot more that he wanted to do with this movie, because there was apparently a lot of um, extra scenes that he wanted to put in there that he didn't get to put in there. And uh apparently Ted Hughes, the man that actually wrote The Iron Giant, even wrote Brad Bird, and apparently the two had worked very close together on this movie, and even wrote him a letter saying how much he appreciates him for making this movie and putting it out there. And unfortunately, he passed away, I do believe, before he actually got to see the movie, which is really, really sad, because I'm sure that he actually wanted to see the finished product. So, but because of production delays and whatnot, it's just rather unfortunate that he didn't get to see it. So that is my number 7, The Iron Giant. And number 6, The Cylons. It's man, Battlestar Galactica, like the old 70s Battlestar Galactica. I just love these guys. I love these guys. These menacing mechanical robots, with the sliding eye, the sliding red eye that goes back and forth and back and forth. That woo 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 woo, right? And like they're scanning everything that's in front of them, right? And that robot-y voice, just love it. These Centurions, like when they re-released Battlestar Galactica 2005, those Cylons were okay. They kind of kept one way or another. Yeah, it was slimmed down, sure, but the face was almost kind of relatively there, right? But these ones, I mean, you knew they were guys in suits, but dang, these were the ones that when I was a kid kind of gave me the chills a little bit, because of that eye that went back and forth and back and forth, and it never stopped. And it was like they were hunting you down, and with their rifles with the bayonets on the end, like, and it's not like you ever saw them like stab somebody with them, because dang, they always got their target, right? And God, I remember some TV shows or even some movies where they showed the movie set. You would always kind of see one walking around in the background, right? But the unfeeling robot voice, and just that singular eye, just damn, it always hit a spot for me, that man, these are like, death robots. I just love them. And you know what? You can kind of see, because I know what Battlestar Galactica, the original one, came out, I believe it was like, what was it, 78, 79? Trying to think here. But you can kind of see a little bit of stormtrooper-ish look in the costume. So it was, yeah, it was just fun. Just a fun robot. And I know that sometimes Glenn Larson doesn't really get a lot of praise for some of the stuff that he has done. But yeah, when this show came out in 78, it was awesome. It was great. And even to see, like, three of them in their ships just blowing stuff up, and it's like, to a certain degree, I really didn't want to watch I didn't really want to watch the actors. I just wanted to watch these Cylons just go around and blow things up and shoot shoot out guys and stuff like that. Yeah, I wonder how uncomfortable, says Lenrod, that costume was for the actors in them. I know, right? That helmet alone. Like, I really honestly don't know the details of the helmet itself. I mean, I'm sure everything was pretty much, like, obviously molded plastic or foam or whatever it was that they used back then, right? Spray painted chrome and whatnot. But for that helmet, I wonder if somehow there was like some sort of mechanical device that just let that eye slide back and forth. Yeah, Dave, don't worry. Yep. It's all good. As long as you're back, I appreciate you coming back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details of that helmet, but dang. You know what? I really want one. Ooh, here we go. Phantom Outsider. He's got some trivia. Cylon trivia. The Cylons were sponsored by Gravy Train, the eternal enemy of Alpo. Really? Were they really? They were actually sponsored by great. I'm assuming Gravy Train is like a dog food company, because I know Alpo is. So I didn't know they were actually sponsored. Huh. But yeah, I mean, if that was the case, the mechanical device inside the helmet that made it go back and forth with a little light, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was just squished against their face. God, that would just be uncomfortable then, I guess. But on top of that, how would they even be able to see if something was going back and forth? You think they just, end up bonking their heads against something like that Stormtrooper did in 77, going through the door. So, but Pops, hey Pops, great to have you here, dude. Welcome to the chat. We're going through our top 10 of my favorite robots. So, welcome to the chat. At Phantom Outsider, yeah, let's be honest. It was the 70s. They just sealed the guy in the suits and just left them. They probably did. Somewhere's in a dumpster is a Cylon suit with an actual skeleton inside. Let me out. No, you're never getting out. It was a joke. Yeah, Lauren Green was the spokesperson for Elbow Dog Food. Yeah, he was. Lauren Green, another great Canadian actor. So, in Bonanza and Battlestar Galactica. So, well, thank God it's a joke. Although, you know what? I'd be actually kind of not surprised if that was actually true. But yeah, you love Silence too. I know they were like, yeah, it's okay. You know what? We know you mean original Silence, because nothing beats original, right? It's it's fun. I love these guys. I just love these guys. And I know I don't have a statue of these or a figure or anything like that. I mean, you'll find out what most of my collection obviously is full of, but yeah, I love Cylons. Just love them. Number 5. Terminator. How could you not have robots without Terminator? The role that made Arnold Schwarzenegger big. So, the movie that made him absolutely humongous. I mean, what can I say? It's Death machines. So killing everything in its path. Fun times. Probably yep, Army Bot 800. So um you know what? I love the first movie as, by today's standards, I suppose, as cheesy as it was. It was almost like, Harryhausen stop motion animation, but dang, I love the story, the original story. Forget about any of the later stuff because it's just, I'm sorry, it's just gone to pot. It's just gone to crap. It really honestly has. God, especially that last Terminator movie. God, I hate it with a passion. And probably even the one before that with that Emilia Clarke. Please. Anyway, yeah, Terminator. And I suppose this is pretty much where most, if not all, our, AI will take over the world memes come from, right? There's no denying it whatsoever. Um, I mean, yeah, Elon Musk. Exactly. My parents said this should never be real. Well, meet Elon Musk, Skyling, Skynet, and his AI bot reveal. That's right. Exactly right. There was, what was it, last week or something like that? He plans to release a very humanoid looking robot, and guess what it's called? Optimus. Oh my god! If this ever happens, Prime will literally be a Decepticon. Crap. I gotta find that article. Yeah. But yeah, Terminator. The thought that a machine goes back to the past to hunt a woman down because he's gonna be the leader of resistance, was super original. I loved it. But now it's become such a trope. That it's sad to see it, but I love these robots. Literally the death skull, how they, went out of their way to obviously disguise themselves as humans, but to try to very closely articulate the human skeletal structure. I always thought was very interesting for a machine to want to do. Because if you're going to make an army of death machines, would you even, why would you even bother to make them look humanoid underneath? Which I suppose is all, fine and dandy and all that. But, yeah, they were supposed to infiltrate, human settlements and whatnot. And, and I get all that. Don't get me wrong. Right. But if everything is a wasteland anyway, wouldn't drones and tactical nukes do? But I like where they went with it anyway. It just looks very creepy, especially, with the glowy red eyes, because remember, red glowy lights means evil, no matter what. I thank Lola from Obi-Wan teaching us that, because we would never have guessed. But it's good to know that that humans were good. Yeah, they were actually good at hiding, and that they had to look like people. But you can't fool dogs, and you can't fool those German shepherds because they know. But yeah, I thought they were just, creepy, just staring at you like that with this cold, literally a cold, dead steel look on their face as they were exposed, no human flesh underneath. And you knew that there was some sort of rudimentary intelligence inside that just wanted to kill you, and there was no mercy, no no reasoning with it. It was just going to get you, and that was it. And that was all. And the first two movies, and I know it's a stretch to even say, but possibly even the third movie, because I know they were really trying to bring it to a point where they were really going through with the story, even though in Terminator 2, it was, the future was delayed of sorts. But I mean, after that, it just turned into a dumpster fire of a mess. So, and it's really a shame that this is what happened to the franchise. God, like, especially that last movie. Oh no, John is actually dead. And now, oh, I'm sorry, he wasn't actually the leader of the resistance. Even though we have a movie of him actually being a leader of the resistance. Frick. No, some Mexican girl is actually the leader of the resistance. So, crap. Yeah, it's really a shame. It really, really is a shame. Okay. On to the next one. Number 4. Come on. You knew eventually they had to be on the list. R2-D2 and C3PO. So, and I'm going to tell you why I put this at number 4 and possibly not higher. Okay. There's a really good reason. You can't have one really without the other. And yeah, exactly, Ladrod. Yeah, both are number 4. Yeah, because to me, they've always been a pair. You can't have one without the other. You have almost always seen them both together one way or another in all of the movies, right? And I'm not counting. I'm definitely not counting the last trilogy. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry if that offends your sensibilities, but I don't care. But yeah, ever since I was a kid, I was convinced that R2-D2 was an actual robot, and I didn't know that there was actually, Kenny was actually in R2-D2. I swear to God. I when you're young, especially that young, because I was 5 when Star Wars came out in 1977, and I watched it originally in the movie theater. And of course, like all of you know, the hype back when all the movies came out, right? I mean, it's a robot. It just is a robot. Yeah, sure, there was a person inside, but there was a guy, I believe, even ages ago, back in the early 80s. He lived in Ontario. And up in Canada, we had like a children's magazine called Owl Magazine. And there was a guy in Ontario that actually built astromechs, like remote control astromechs. And I thought that was so cool. And I thought, well, boy, if he is, building these, then yeah, surely R2-D2 must be a robot also. But no, Kenny Baker was actually R2-D2. And Anthony Daniels, C3PO. So, I mean, I knew C3PO was a guy in a suit. That was obvious. But I really honestly thought that R2-D2 was an actual robot that they did by remote control. So, but the only reason why this is number 4 is because of Anthony Daniels. And I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a tale of long ago and not so far away from me. A day of the Calgary Comic Con, where about 3-4 years ago, I saw Anthony Daniels in Calgary. And my wife said, hey, there he is right over there. Sorry, no. Actually, she doesn't sound like an old mariner. We saw him, and there was nobody lined up in front of his table. And my wife said, is is that the guy that played C-3PO, Anthony Daniels? I'm like, yeah, that is. She goes, why don't you go talk to him? Like, nobody's in line. There's no line. You can just walk right up and talk to him, right? And here's the thing why they say you should never meet your idols, okay? And it is very true in this case. No, sorry, because she's not a robot. She's a Barbie doll made alive. So that will be another list, I promise you. Okay, of fantasy women in sci-fi. How about that? Okay, you got my promise on that. So, um, but yeah, old tales from the sea, but this time in the prairies. But the thing was, okay, so I went up to his table. And I mean, because let's face it, Star Wars, and when you were a kid, and now you get to meet the guy that's in the suit. And I thought, oh, this is gonna be so awesome, right? Just gonna be able to talk to him, if not for a little bit, right? So I go up to him and it's like, Mr. Daniels, I've been a fan of yours ever since I was a little kid in Star Wars, with C-3PO. And I hear that there's a new movie coming up. This is before Force Awakens came out, and and I'm just wondering, are you going to be in it? Well, God, the thing was, he had his head down, and I think he was doing something at the table, as I'm talking to him. And what ended up happening? Oh my God, I will never, ever forget it as long as I live. That kind of person, when it looks like they're busy doing something and they kind of look up at you without tilting their head up to look directly at you, like, with their full face. Like you're kind of like, oh my, you're just annoying me by talking to me right now, taking up my precious time. That was the look. And it's that kind of stare that somebody gives you. That, what are you doing talking to me, you lowly peon of a human being? And oh boy, did it make me feel like I should belong in a gutter. Like, I swear to God, it's that kind of look, that kind of reaction that makes you feel so small as a human being. And then what did he say? And after that, I really couldn't remember what his answer was. It might have been yes, it might have been no. I think it was like no, or something. I really honestly cannot remember because that's how small I felt. And then I said, well, thank you for your time. And then I just turned around, and went back to my wife. And she was like, wow, did that just happen? And I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, that just happened. Like, oh my God. She's like, what? And my wife was like, I believe she's, what a jerk. And then you end up reading online how much of a dick this guy is to a lot of his cast members. Apparently to Kenny Baker, who believed, Jill, no, it's cool. You know what? Yeah, it is disappointing, because you grow up with these as kids and then you finally get to meet them and it's like wow, this is like, this is pretty shitty. Excuse the language, but you know, uh yeah, exactly, Pops. Yeah, hence the reason why there was no line. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm wondering. Um so um Yeah, and then you start reading online, about Anthony Daniels, how he treated everybody like crap, and especially Kenny Baker, the guy that played R2D2. And apparently there was one story where he meets his co-star basically, and he's like, oh, I have to work with you. And so apparently he was not nice to a lot of people, even his co-workers, that he treated a lot of people like crap. So yeah, I I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the acting. I've always enjoyed what they were in the movies. But when you have an interaction like that, like the new trilogy, or like Obi-Wan that's come out now, it it slightly taints it. It's like a little bit of poison that's injected into something that you love, and it's like a stain that'll never come out. You know what I mean? It's it's crap. It's just it's unfortunate, and that's why I put this at number 4. So that's my number 4. So R2D2 and C3PO. So number 3, Gundam. Gundam. I like Gundam. I very much like Gundam. And God, I mean, even I believe it's in Okinawa. They built a full size 1-to-1 Gundam that actually moves. I mean, damn. Um, I mean, this is a franchise that's been going on for God, like what, almost 50 years now, I think. Um, it's giant robot mechs. What more can I say? Um, yeah, Snuggle for Compulse, don't worry about it. No, it's cool. You know what? I'm way over it right now. And once you realize dude's a jerk, well, if you don't let that particular person hold any power over you, if you don't let it bug you anymore, then that person doesn't hold any power over you anymore. So you know what? It's cool. Um, yeah, I know technically they're not robots. I know, I get it. They're not like true on their own robots, but then again, you read a little something that um for the pilots, at least in the original Gundam, um what's the original kid's name in Gundam that apparently um had precognitive powers to the point where the suit would actually react before the person thought of it. To me, that almost implies some sort of sentience of sorts. Now, yeah, I know they're giant mech suits, but and they're not robots. And pretty much kind of at this point, I really couldn't really think of any more kind of robots that I really, really enjoyed. But I just think of them as big pilotable robots, I suppose. Forgive me for putting them on the list. I just really, really enjoyed Gundam, and all the all the awesomeness that it comes with, the different variations, the whole storyline, the models, the merchandising, the everything. Um, no, don't get me on my list. Damn it. I was trying to come up with something quick also on top of that. So, forgive me. So, a robot doesn't need to be sentient to be a robot. No, that's true, right? So, um, and on top of that, I was really just trying to think of things to, that I enjoyed, and uh, so I just thought, well, in a way, they are robots. They're pilotable robots in a sense. Sure, I can see the other point of view on that. Um, yeah, and I know Gigantor and Giant Robo, yeah, but they were robots, true. So that being said, yeah, Gundam, I just always love this series a lot. Giant robots. I'm sorry, can't help it. Number 2. Oh, wait a minute. No. That's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. Number 2. No. This isn't what I wanted again either. Damn it. This is just, nuts and bolts thrown in a blender. God, that's just trash. Number 2. Transformers. Robots in disguise. Okay, my number 2. Transformers. I love Transformers. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. Early on, my first Transformer I really, really wanted was Soundwave and his tapes. Yeah, it's but my parents couldn't afford it. And so at the time, what I did, because we had, I was one of the first kids in Canada to actually have Lego. No, not GoBots for the win. I'm sorry. But I had a ton of Lego, and at the time, my parents, were kind of like, hard up for cash, so they couldn't buy me Transformers. So I built them out of Lego, and then eventually, I started giving them as toys, and my first combiner was like the Protectobots. No way, I would have never known. So, yes, surprise, isn't it? But this is a franchise that's been going on forever, and every reiteration and everything they do to, pardon the pun, transform the franchise. You know what? I should have actually just called this maybe giant robot. I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to go any further with it. Anyway, Transformers, yeah, it's a franchise that does constantly keep on transforming themselves, with different looks and different, slightly, I guess, different ideas. And, as far as going into Beast Wars, which I thought was just very odd. When it first came out, it's like, but they're robots and they're transforming into animals now. It's like, how was that a disguise? But I think they made it work because, they had like fur or feathers or, scaly skin or whatever. And so, yeah. And now that I got a whole slew of them, of a masterpiece line, and I'm pretty much done season 1, 2, and 3, and I'm working on the Japanese series. The one thing that I've always loved about this is the fact that it always became, in my childhood at least, once I started getting them, was that it was not just one toy. I mean, it was a robot, which was cool, which was great. But I mean, it also became a second or a third or, even a fourth toy because it transformed into a vehicle of some sort, like a car or a truck or an airplane or a tape deck or a camera, or like the Insecticons, you had robot bugs, or Dinobots, which were dinosaurs. Perceptor was a microscope, for Pete's sake. You had like Astro Train or Blitzwing, which was, a space shuttle and a train or a tank and a MiG fighter jet. Or, yeah, exactly. Or you had Omega Supreme, which was a giant rocket base with a tank turret and you essentially like railroad tracks, right? Battery powered. I had two of them, and I loved it because it could actually walk. Um, God, what else? Then you had your numerous combiners. You had like 5 or sometimes even 6 robots that transformed into a big giant robot, and everything tried to copy it, like robotics. Yeah, exactly. Jack Lumen, nice to know that you dropped by. I'm sorry I didn't say hi earlier, but we just got talking. So, hail Jack Lumen. Um, but yeah, I know GoBots came out first and, owned by Tonka, but to me, it just looked really cheesy on screen. It honestly did. It just looked, I know it's Hanna-Barbera and the animation was just eh, you know, to me, I just couldn't, I don't know. It was too, I don't know, Flintstone-ish. It was too, I don't know, Hanna-Barbera-ish. By the way, that's my next scale chart for all of you bot geeks out there. So, yeah. And I mean, thanks to this line with collecting, especially from third-party companies, and for us fantastical Transformer nerds out there, this is why I did all my scale charts to help collectors. And I love this franchise so much. Like back in 2002, I did a collectible card game prototype for Hasbro. To the point where, I had a contact in Hasbro by the name of, oh God, what was his name? It's funny. I can't think of his name right now, which is kind of stupid because I've said it so many times. Anyway, I had a contact in Hasbro, and when my deck was done, I mailed it to him. And he brought it over to the San Diego Comic-Con and Comic Relief Crusader. Well, Robotnik's was more like a Rector set and Lego Technics combined. Yeah, that's true. They kind of were, which kind of made it fun because you could always switch it around. Yeah, Hasbro guy, yeah. So I was freelance at the time. But the story goes like this, okay? When my deck was done, I mailed it to Josh Izzo. That was his name at Hasbro. He was head of the Transformer department and in Hasbro. And I even have the email still to prove it that I was in contact with this guy, so I can always back up what I say. And on top of that, check out MixelPix on his channel because I did an interview with him last year explaining all of this, and I think he showed some screenshots. But anyway, the point is, he brought it to San Diego Comic-Con. This is like back in 2002, I believe. And they had a deal going on with Wizards of the Coast, the ones that put out Magic, The Gathering, and all those other different card games. And apparently they really liked the concept. And the concept was kind of loosely based on let me think, what was it called again? Wild Storms, which was a card game from Jim Lee when he used to be at Image. So it was kind of like loosely based on that. But the thing was, I wonder if I should actually show you the cards. Some of the cards. That's what I'll do. Anyway, so each card you had a robot card, and then if you could find the collectible card, depending on how big your deck was, you could also find their transformation. So whatever it was that they transformed into. I'm going to see if I can bring up Yeah. So here we go. I wonder if that is going to show on screen. Yes. So I made a whole slew of them, of Autobots and Decepticons, and let me see here. Like this right here. Like one of the Technobots, for example, Afterburner. So so what I did for the tech specs, like C is close quartered, R is ranged, so gun, and D is your defense, right? And so I put down, what their first appearance was, what their quote was according to the original Marvel universe quotes. And so I also took down, what their powers particularly were, right? And so if you were lucky enough, this was what the whole thing was supposed to be. If you were lucky enough to find their alternate mode, then you could play that alternate mode as well, because they had additional powers. So unless, you were like, say, Alva Tryon, because his ultimate mode is left in history, and then you had headmasters and stuff like that. So it was presented at the San Diego Comic-Con. They liked the idea, but they ended up going in a different direction. And they ended up picking a Punch-Out card game where basically you took the card and you punched out the pieces, and you either built the robot into a car or into a vehicle. And apparently, they put it out and it bombed because, you'd end up losing the little cardboardy bits, right? So, and then, of course, later on, to help everybody's collection, I made the scale charts to help with the collection, because there was a lot of argument going on in the community about, what figures were into scale or not. So, yeah. I just did a lot. And then on top of that, working for third-party companies like, say, X Transbots, and doing the box layout and art and stuff like that. So, yeah, people don't want to destroy their cards. Exactly, right? What's the point of a Punch-Out card game if people don't want to destroy the cards? I know, right? That was just so silly. Yeah, and there were like 7,500 different Bumblebee variants. That's true. I mean, how many variants of Bumblebee do we have out now? Oh my god, I didn't even want to imagine it. Yeah, Jack Lubin. Yeah, Robotics had a weird robot immortality storyline. It was rather cool, wasn't it? Yeah, that they imported their essence, their life essence, into the robots. And yeah, strangely dark for a kid's storyline franchise. I gotta agree with you on that, right? Because what would happen if they were like irreparably damaged? Does that mean death forever? Could they not? Like, I don't know. It was a cool storyline, and the toys were pretty cool. And I don't even think it really lasted long. Lenrod, but punching out the cards means you gotta buy more. Yeah, exactly, right. So, and you're back, Dave. Thanks, Dave. And boy, I should have you on Twitter duty, I guess. So, and Phantom Outsider, yeah, let's have Punch-Out baseball cards. Sure, if you want to get punched out. That's right, Robo Heaven. So, yeah, so that's my number 2, Transformers. Grown up with it as a kid and still a big fan, even as a 50-year-old adult. I will not stop being a nerd over them. And yeah, I love them. Even my daughter loves them, to the point where she gets like even these little, what they call, mini masterpieces, I suppose you could say. Oh, you're checking on giveaways. Well, dang, I want a giveaway. Then again, I suppose, yeah. Well, when I hit 500, I'm gonna have another giveaway. So I can't say exactly what just yet. Jack Lubin. Now there was an episode where they downloaded an essence and it freaked out being put into robot bodies, so they extracted it back. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. God, it was such a long time ago since I've seen that show. But you have an expansion pack to infinity and an additional 50,000 Bumblebee variants. Crap. Oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, so that's my number 2. And my number 1, don't blame me for my pick, is it's not even, oh yeah, that's right. Tegan Tapa Gurren Lagann. If ever. Oh, Pops, you got to get going? You know what, dude? Thank you very much for dropping by. And oh, yes, also, people, tomorrow, I will be on Pop's channel discussing something. I will make sure to put a link in the description for your Twitter, so also people can check you out. So, Pops, you have a good night. And yes, I will most definitely see you tomorrow. So yeah, so cheaper for me. We're not blaming you, it's your pick. Okay, yeah, thank you. Tegan Top and Gurren Lagann. No love for Rosie. Oh my god. No, Jill, please. No, don't leave me. I need you. Phantom Outsider, do not know this. I don't know this anime. Dude, okay. God, you don't know this anime either? Okay. Lenrod has never even heard of this. Okay, people, then you have come to the right place, and hence the reason why I am the Comic Relief Crusader, and to educate you on Tega Toppen Gurren Lagann. Okay. This is an anime that came out, God, let me think, probably about a good 10 years ago. About 10 years ago. The manga never got finished in Japan. But the anime still came out. And it's, if any of you guys, came out in 2007, okay? And it is most definitely sci-fi. Now, Gurren Lagann, or as it's known in Japan, Tekken Toppa Gurren Lagann, basically is a Japanese mecha anime style anime, right? Animated by Gainax and co-produced by Aniplex and Konami. And it ran for about 27 episodes on TV Tokyo between, let me think here, April to September back in 2007. Okay. And those guys that animated it eventually became Trigger. It's about a boy. The plot focuses basically on 2 teens. Okay. Simon, which is the guy with the goggles that you see, and Kamina, which is kind of like, he's kind of like Big Brother in a way. He's not technically his blood brother, but you know, he acts as his big brother because he lost his family in a in an underground rock slider or something like that. I guess you could put it. And they all live in a subterranean village. Now, Kamina and Simon, they want to go to the surface because they've never seen the surface before. Simon ends up finding a mecha known as Login, right? And this series is on Netflix. Go catch it on Netflix. For the love of God, please do yourself a favor. Watch it in the original Japanese with the subtitles. Don't watch it in English. Okay? Do yourself a treat and watch it in the original Japanese. You will thoroughly enjoy it. All right? So a little robot is found and is known as Login. And Simon and Kamina basically reach the surface, and where they find out that basically humans are, you could say, on the endangered species list. And in comes this girl, and it's basically, typical typical girl with the, oh my lord, yeah, with the typical, well, let's put it this way, the typical sexiness. Okay. Who comes in and they befriend her, and they find out that there's a lot of other, well, how should I put it, a lot of other subterranean villages that are out there. And so Yoko is what the girl's name is. And so they find out that these animal people that are controlling these mechs, which are called gunmen, essentially, go around hunting humans and making sure that they don't reach the surface. And then, Kamina and Simon essentially capture another robot. And with the little robot that Simon finds, they basically combine it into Gurren Lagann, which is what you see basically in the background. This show is a roller coaster of laughs. It is literally a roller coaster of laughs. I cannot recommend this anime more. If I were to go into it any further, I really honestly do not want to spoil it anymore. But if you really want to watch a good anime series, a great anime series, watch this. Do yourself an honest to God treat. Maybe some of you, anime isn't your bag, but if you really want an escape show, and I mean, I know there's a lot of shows like that are out there, but this anime goes, like, literally, as it goes on, it really goes over the top. And by the time you hit the end, you will understand why it goes totally over the top and why this show is like so awesome. Yeah, for me, at least since 2007, there's a lot of gags in this. There's a ton of heartache. I will spell it out for you because it is, like I said, it's on Netflix. Okay. So catch it on Netflix. I will spell it out for you, Jill. This is how you spell it. Tagen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Yeah, it does kind of look like a technomancer, kind of. Yeah, no problem, Jill. It's all good. But yeah, there's a lot of laughs. There's definitely heartache, and extremely shocking bits that you think will not happen, that does happen. Simon, at first, he's very unsure of himself. He's very withdrawn. He's very, I suppose you could say, overly cautious. He doesn't want anything bad basically happening. And he really, truly, honestly, starting out as a character that really does not believe in himself. Right? He's like one of those characters. But thanks to Kamina, his older brother, you could say, right? Which is basically just his friend. He's the guy that really looks out for him, who in himself is the typical anime example of of macho-ness. And this is why I'm saying watch this in the original Japanese, okay? You have to. Because it's over the top. What all I can say is what ends up happening to him makes Simon end up becoming the man that he grows up to be. And in every sense of the word, a selfless hero that he ends up becoming. If it wasn't what happens with Kamina, his Aniki, his older brother, so to speak. And yeah, I cannot get tired of watching this series over and over again. I would even recommend even getting the soundtrack. The soundtrack is phenomenal. You can find it easily on eBay as a 2 CD set. I would highly recommend getting the anime soundtrack. And I believe there was a extra, I suppose you could put a half episode that was released in Japan for, I believe it was Robot Carnival video game that was released in Japan. And if you pre-ordered it, then you had a kind of a half episode. It was kind of like an episode that fed in between episodes of Gurren Lagann that came out. That was kind of made specifically for the game, but actually does fit into the Tag and Toppa Gurren Lagann continuity of sorts. And then it also did another spin-off of like alternate reality Gurren Lagann episodes, short episodes. And the reason why they did that is, well, you have to watch the anime to know why they did that. So, because again, if I go into big detail, I'm giving things away. So, yeah, Mechagodzilla would stomp any of these bots. You know what? No, actually, that's not necessarily true. Again, because you have to watch Gurren Lagann to know exactly what I mean. So, Mechagodzilla wouldn't even stand a chance. I swear to God. Okay. And Phantom Outsider, 7's Arc 7. Yeah, G-Force, Battle of the Planets. Is sending you an email with every work. Chiop from G-Force's ever set sail. The reason most of his dialogue was chirps was the original Japanese gotcha man. All he did was curse. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Oh my God. And you know what? Speaking of 7's Arc 7, you know the little robot dog that he had also with him? Because those scenes were, as far as I know, they were added in. I actually had the little robot dog, like from forever ago. And any derivative jail. I think the Cylons have made their displeasure clear as they want to extinguish all organic life. This list was the tipping point. Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna enjoy seeing things come to a head with that. And yeah, you know what, Crichton, I probably should have added Crichton to the list. Maybe I could have made it a top 20, I suppose, at this point. It's probably what I should have done. So I'm awfully ashamed of myself now. But you know what? Yeah, that's my top 10. My top 10 list of robots that I love. And I know there's a lot more out there. Yeah, like Johnny Five from Short Circuit. No, Data did not make it either because Data is Data. I don't know. To me, Data not really a big high priority. I don't know why. Just yeah. I don't know why not Data. But you know what? Yeah, the machine man. Well, I think actually technically probably woman because it was a female form from Metropolis. Yeah, that is glorious. You know what? And if I made this a top 20 list, that would actually be close to my top 5. Uh God, if they ever remake that, I hope they do that right because I would love to see a slightly modernized version, just slightly, not overly modernized, but just a little bit of that. Man, love it. Let's see. You forgot K9. You know what? Oh my god. How could I have forgotten K9? You're right. Because you know what? When I was in my mid-teens, I actually made K9. Of course, it was out of plywood and a remote control car and stuff like that. But I think I made it like life size. But um, yeah, I should have added K9 on that list. So many robots that I do enjoy. Dr. Rotwang referred to it as a machine man. Oh, really? I gotta rewatch the movie again because it's been forever since I've seen Metropolis. Okay, well, cool. Then I will take your word for it. But yeah, that's my list. I know there's a lot of other robots. Wall-E for one. My kids love that movie. I mean, I gotta say, I loved Wall-E as well. I mean, cute garbage dispensing robot, basically, crushing it into a little cube. It was great. It's super. And God, even wore out that DVD. And yeah, and Robot from The Day the Earth Stood Still. So Cherry 2000. I can't say I'm familiar with that. Honest to God. What is that? Cherry 2000? See, because now what you're going to do is you're going to make me look that up. And then I'm probably going to get a good laugh. And actually, you know what? No, I know I'm actually going to get a good laugh. And oh, okay. Well, God. Okay. Yeah. Jeez. Oh, frig. Cherry 2000. Oh, and it's an 80s movie on top of that. 1987. Okay. Is that Melanie Griffith? Seriously? That looks like Melanie Griffith. I think that is. Oh my god. Huh. I've never heard of this movie. Honest to God. Huh. Well, now I'm gonna have to watch this now. So, got it in the search bar. Oh no. Oh, you got to fly, dude? Okay. Go make dinner. And yeah, Crimson, thank you for dropping by. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? There's another good one. Batteries Not Included. That was actually a really good movie. I really did enjoy that movie. I love that movie. A Steven Spielberg movie on top of that. So yeah, it was a cute movie. The way they just little fixer bots just flying around that just, I don't know, just had this manic obsession with just fixing everything. So it was a very, very sweet movie. I do remember that now. Let's see. Have you never watched USA Up All Night in the 80s and 90s? You know what? No, I have not, because living in Canada, I don't think we got USA Network, or at least not in my neck of the woods where I used to live. So No, if it was on there, then I did not watch it. Um, Nothing better than a robot you can bond with. Oh boy, let's not get into that subject because you know what they're producing now too. On top of that, I don't want to get into details because you know exactly what I mean. Yeah, Nimrod and V'ger just found out about this about the list. Nimrod. V'ger I'm obviously familiar with because, you know, let's face it, one way or another we are Star Trek nerds. So I do know V'ger. I suppose that would that really count as a robot though? Or just a big giant artificial intelligence mass? Because it did send out, you know, like, you know, humanoid probes, which V'ger did with Ilea. So I don't know, but Nimrod, I'm not exactly familiar. Oh, Nomad, that's what you meant, Nomad. Um Nomad was a mutant killing robot. Interesting. No, I don't think I've heard of that. And then oh no, the contingent from Blade Runner are checking in now. Oh crap, no. So um don't think we had that in there. Yeah, no, I'm not mentioning sex bots. As Yeah, V'ger became a sentient machine. That's true. And I get that, but was it a robot? Maybe parts of it were. Yeah, Marvin the Paranoid Android from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh God. I love that robot. You know what? When it came out as a movie, um to see that big giant bulbous head, just it was hilarious. See, I remember it from the radio drama, and the old BBC show where obviously, you know, Marvin looked quite different. Marvin the Paranoid Android, just walking around. Oh God, I'm so depressed. You know, loved it, and it always made me wonder why would you really want to create a depressed robot all the time? And apparently, I guess as the story goes, that, you know, it just made everyone feel so bummed out and depressed that they ended up killing themselves. So Marvin became more depressed. I hope you're happy. He's not. Yes, I am happy. So I am elated. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's just so many robots. Um, I wasn't talking about those robots. That'd be sick. Me, goodbye. Well, okay. Now that I got that cleared up, super. Uh, but no, there's just so many of them. That that you know you can't possibly list them all. There's just so many good ones. Yeah, like Robbie the Robot from Lost in Space, and oh God, just tons of them. Or the one from Forbidden Planet. Um, God, what else? Just so many. Yeah, Johnny Five. I love that one. Um, God, even Rosie from like the Jetsons, I suppose. She counts. She's a robot. Why not? I guess. Well, Sentinels from X-Men, I suppose, kind of. You know, there's another one. Um, God, what else? Oh, that's right. How could I have forgotten? There were two others. Two other robots that, you know what, I probably should have added. And you know what? Nobody's mentioned it. And it's from a Disney movie. Um Maximilian and Vincent and Bob. And you know what? Um yeah, those ones should have made my list as well. Yeah, Forbidden Planet was an awesome movie, Dave. It totally was. Yeah, Cherry 2000. I'm really definitely gonna have to pick that out now. But but yeah. These ones too. This was another favorite one from my childhood, and I think I had Vincent. I'm pretty sure I might have had Maximilian, but I loved these guys. These guys were so awesome. And I thought the movie, The Black Hole, was just so creepy, especially at the end of the movie where Buddy was like trapped inside Maximilian, and when they fall into the black hole, and and Maximilian was the devil before there was a robot devil. Exactly right. And that part, oh my god, that when I was a little kid, that terrified me. And for Disney to put out that kind of movie, I suppose with that kind of rating, I suppose at the time, because I mean, let's face it, it did have a bit of violence in it. When Maximilian encounters the other astronauts there, and essentially he pops open one of his little claw hands and uses it to essentially skewer one of the astronaut guys. It's like, damn, he was just shredded. Um, yeah, IG-88 from Star Wars. Don't know if I've ever seen them. You know what? Yeah, it's a movie from the early 80s. Let me see. When did Black Hole come out? Boy, I gotta remember that now. But it's it's an awesome Disney movie. Um, totally check it out. You gotta. Those robots are iconic. And they don't get enough love that they actually probably should. Yeah, I mean, the fact that the crew were dead. Yeah, they were kind of like zombies, like like the zombie crew kind of thing, right? They were like all on, I don't know, automatic pilot. I don't know why they were just the way they were. They just were, I don't know, just drones at that point. Yeah, HK-47 is the mad destroyer of all time. Yeah, it's just so true. 79, thank you. So yeah, I thought it was like early 80s. I had 1979. So yeah, Dave, check out The Black Hole. Um, yeah, I know it's an old movie, but it's still good by today's standards. Sure, of course, some of the effects are dated, but I suppose that's what makes it also awesome on top of that. It's a really fun movie. And you know what? I honestly hope yeah, he roboticized the crew. That's right. That's what it was. It's been such a long time since I've seen that movie. Um but yeah, I really honestly hope they never redo this movie ever. Ever. I heard there was possibly talk of it, but I really don't want it to happen. Yeah, the creepy robot funeral. I know, right? It's like, well, if it's a robot, why are they having a funeral? Yeah, and then they find out, and it's like all their faces are disfigured, and oh yeah, it was like scary to see that when I was a kid. It's like, oh, gross. Why is that man look funny? So, but you know what? I gotta thank you all for being here tonight. Another 2 hours of come and gone. And I really honestly want to thank everybody that has dropped by tonight. So and for making this yet another fun chat. So, and yeah, who do we got in the chat? We got, well, I mean, we have obviously the Stephen Ransom. I'm glad that you dropped by, and Snaggle Pricklepuss. Nice to see you, and of course Lenrod and the Phantom Outsider. And of course, our super heroic Twitter checking Dave. I'm glad that you're here as well. And Psychosis, I'm glad that you popped by. Psychosis 29. And who else did we have drop by? The anti-derivative Jill. Thank you also for dropping by. I'm just trying to fill time. And Pops, also, I know that you're gone now, but I'm going to say thank you anyway for dropping by. And Crimson Toys, brother in crime, also from the BC area as well. Thank you also for dropping by. And, and LDG, you know what? You must have just snuck right in because I totally did not see you. Dude, I don't know if you're still here or not, but also thank you for dropping by because it seems like everybody just drops in, and while I'm chatting and showing pictures and stuff like that, I don't see who pops in. So LDG, thank you also for dropping by. I really greatly appreciate it. And let's see who else was here. I mean, we've had like a lot of people drop in. And Jack Lumen, also, thank you for dropping by. I really greatly appreciate it. And you know what? It really honestly helps me out by, keeping my hours going up, which is really awesome because I am really trying to work hard to, it's not for the sake of making it to 1,000 or, to get monetized, but please understand what I'm trying to say. It kind of is, because slowly, as hard labor takes its toll on my body, I kind of want to make this my thing. What else can I say? Hey, we're all getting older, and none of us are getting a day younger, right? So, but no, I want to thank you all for dropping by on another Titillating Tuesday. And I think the 6 minutes, definitely was not long enough, of course. Yeah. So, yes, also on top of that, Lenrod, please get a hold of me so I can get your address, so I can get you that t-shirt for that awesome slogan that you made. So, because I did promise you one, and I do want to get you one. And also, yes, if you guys want to check out said store where you can purchase said t-shirts, then please go to freelancegraphics.com. Lenrod, get a hold of me on Twitter, or if you're on Discord, get a hold of me on Discord at Mark D with a C's channel if you're on there, or you know what, if you're on Facebook, I don't know if you're on Facebook, Mike Jonathan Lorber on Facebook. You will probably know which one is me, I guess. Don't have Twitter, nor do I have Discord. Crap. Well, this just makes it harder now, doesn't it? Okay. You know what? Here, this is what I'm going to do. And I hope this goes through because I am going to... There is my email address. Email me. You live under a rock. Okay, fine. So email me. Hope all Canadians have a great kiss my butt if you don't. Love my flag and Canada Day. Yes, exactly. Celebrating Canada Day at noon. Awesome. Thank you for celebrating us Canuckians. And for you guys in the States, happy Trader Day. So, so, so you need Canadians to show up. We will show up. You know what? Thank God Friday. I am going to be, well, I suppose Thursday going into Friday because I'm on graveyard shift. I got Canada Day off. So if you're doing a show, Jill, then I will show up and give you my Canada Day Canadian support, as I'm sure most will. So yes, check out Anti-Derivative Jill and her channel. And tomorrow I am on Pop's channel. As for some reason, he felt like he wanted to do an interview with me. So if you want to check out Pop's channel, there is the link. And oh, your birthday's on Monday. Well, happy birthday, dude. If I do not talk to you before then. So tomorrow at, let me see what time again. 5:30 Eastern. Join both of us on Pops Talk, where we're going to be talking about something. I don't know what he wants to talk about, so it's going to be a surprise. Yay, I want to celebrate Canadians who create things, so I love that. Thank you. Yeah, hey, not a problem. Well, I mean, hey, let's put it this way. If it wasn't for Canadians, well, we wouldn't have Kirk, and we wouldn't have Scotty, and you know what? We wouldn't have a lot of Canadian actors doing quite a bit of sci-fi, right? I mean, look at Stargate. The entire show was filmed in Vancouver in BC, right? So a lot of stuff going on. So yes, or curling. That's right. Or that yummy, delicious, sugary tree sap, or the antlered cow that we like to call moose. Yeah. Also, BTO, Rush, Exciter, Anvil, Freeways. Tweet out before you go on. Try to watch. Exactly. Oh, yeah. See, there you go. Stargate will be featured, of course. So yeah. If you want, check out the merchandise in my store at the link that I provided above at freelancegraphics.com. If you want to get a t-shirt, Lenrod, please email me because as you came up with that slogan, you get a free t-shirt. And let me know what size that you want to on top of that. That would help. And as always, spread the link, watch the shows, take a like and take a subscribe, and give a comment, and help me grow. And I will also try to spread all of what you guys do as well. I try to get to every channel that I can, or that I can remember to try to, because I believe one hand also helps the other. So because I just want us to all grow together and spread the word of what is decent in entertainment. So Cherry 2000 time. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. I promise you I will somehow try to get around to watching that. I promise you. I know for some odd reason this is going to be cheesy watching it, but you know what? Yeah. I can deal with that. That's not a problem. So anyway, email sent. Awesome, dude. I just got it just now. Sweet. So to all of you out there, thank you very much for joining in. I really appreciate you all. And yeah, what did I want to say? Next week, as I am doing a 4 p.m. to midnight shift. I forget who suggested it, but I will take the advice and probably do for at least 2 weeks an early afternoon show. Maybe about 1 o'clock my time, which would be mountain time. So I'll probably do that for 2 weeks, just so I don't lose out on on any watch time. And maybe I might do a Sunday show on top of that, over the weekend kind of thing, if it doesn't interfere with anything else. So, but anyway, all of you, good night. I really appreciate you guys showing up. So to all of you out there in the geekosphere, that is YouTube, I bid you all adieu, and this is the Comic Relief Crusader. Stay tuned. Good night, everyone.